So you've decided that now's the time to sell. You've chosen a realtor. What comes next?
It's a good question, Lynn, because one of the biggest questions we get from sellers is, how long is it going to take to get me on the market? And again, my favorite answer, it depends, right? So you want to get your home on the market as quickly as possible, but you also want to present it in the best light. So the first step is looking at any repairs that are needed in your home. If your home's in relatively good shape, it could just be something as simple as having the carpets cleaned and throwing some paint on the walls, right? Paint is $25 in the can and $5,000 on the wall, right? So it's always worthwhile to give things a fresh coat, especially if you've got some bold colors. I love bold colors, but when you're looking at pictures on realtor.ca, those lime green walls, they jump out at people. So, really you want to put the house in the best possible light. If the house needs more repair, it's not a bad idea to have a pre-inspection done and have a home inspector tell you what buyers are going to find out, and take the time, get a contractor and fix those things before you even get ready to list. The next thing is always decluttering, right? And I don't believe that a house has to be Spartan in order to sell it, but I would start with the basement, garage, and closets, because what buyers are looking for is space. So if they open a closet and it's jam-packed, they think there's no space in the house. So clearing those areas out so that the people can see them properly. And then just looking through the house, you want buyers to see the house, not your stuff.
Absolutely.
So you want it to be lovely, but you don't want so much stuff that's all they talk about is your rooster collection or your, the pet food trays that we're all, yes, I have a rooster collection. And then, how do you deal with that? Well, one is you can pack some things. It's no big deal to have some boxes in the basement or the garage. People know that you're thinking of moving. And the other is to give that stuff a new life. Put it on an online auction, right? We've got Max Sold, you've got Facebook Marketplace. There's ways to get rid of all that clutter. The next question is to stage or not to stage. So yes, absolutely. Because even, no matter how lovely our homes are, we have them set up for our own comfort and convenience, right? We've got that table with the remotes on it that we have. So one of the things we do is we bring in a stager just as a consultant. She looks at the entire house from a buyer's perspective and makes suggestions. That doesn't mean you have to move all your furniture out and move, rented furniture in for the duration that you're selling, but it may be just taking the things you have and rearranging them so that the house is appealing in the photos and appealing when buyers come through the house. If you've got an empty house, so you've got an investment property maybe that you're selling, I do recommend that you stage that one, right? Buyers have so much difficulty walking into an empty room and imagining if the couch will fit, right? And they always assume the rooms are smaller than they are. So throwing a few anchor pieces of furniture into an empty room to give it some context is a really good idea. We talk about staging the inside of the house. The other is to think about the outside.
Curb appeal.
Absolutely. It's well worth it to tidy up the gardens, trim the hedges that are at the front door, give the front door a can of paint for $25 is always a good idea. And then once you're ready, it's the next step is getting the professional photos done. We look at listings all the time, and buyers do too, and you can tell when a realtor's gone in and taken the photos with their iPhone. So having a good professional photographer come through, with beautifully lit photos that show the house at its best.
And the 3D tour.
3D tours are huge, again, because so many buyers start online now, over 90% of them. So having them be able to look in each room on a 3D tour is huge. And then a video, right? And usually videos include some aerial shots of the house, so you can see how it is situated on the land or in the neighborhood. So that is a very important step. And then finally, once the house is ready for showings and open houses, you have to make sure you're ready for that as well. So keeping the house tidy, because you could go to work in the morning and get a call saying that there's a showing at noon.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure when you leave the house in the morning, it's show ready. We always say leave the lights on, especially now. We don't want people touching light switches and things. So leaving all the lights on. One important one is having the same tone of light bulbs throughout the house. So, you can get warm light bulbs and cool. Pick one. I like warm, but pick one and have that throughout the house. And we call that light staging now.
Yeah.
Making sure the house smells good. Right? If you cook fish for dinner, you need something to cover that up, but not too much. So I've walked into the houses now that have those Scentsy things plugged in, and that's overwhelming and turns buyers off as well. And finally, thinking about pets, right? So, when it's time to have people coming through your home, we want to make sure that the pets are taken care of, whether they go to the neighbor or we just make sure on the listing that we say, please don't let the cat out, but lots to think about. And also family needs, right? So you're still living your life while your home is listed. So we need to make sure that we've arranged things so that you can still have meals and kids can still have bedtime. And if you work from home, that we're working around that.
So timing is
so
important.
Lots of things are involved in getting ready to list your house.
Absolutely. I'm Lynn Wyminga.
And I'm Lorna Willis. We're with the Nadeau Real Estate Group. If this is great information for you, give us a like, a share, a subscribe, or if you've got a question, throw it in the comments.